Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's going to be all about the differences between being a company member and a student. Before I start this video, I also wanted to just mention and say thank you for all the love and support on my recent video, and I'm glad you guys are happy for me to be back too. Alright, so the first difference is the most obvious and also the most crucial one, is that you have to work way harder than being a student. For example, when you're in a student class, you have teachers looking, helping you, correcting you. In a company, you do not have this nearly as much. The teachers at QB are amazing and they do lots of corrections on all of us, so that's amazing. But generally speaking, you have to work super hard to improve by yourself. You need to know what you need to fix because you don't have someone looking at you all the time. And that's very important when you're in a company, because when you know what you have to fix, that can help you improve on something, and that will make you better as a dancer and could possibly help you get better roles. So it's really important to work hard and improve. And this one kind of follows along with my next one, is that when you're in a company, you have to work twice as hard with exercises and things you do outside of dance. I actually got a comment on my Instagram saying, do you work harder now because you're in a company, or do you work less because you dance all the time? Well, I actually work even harder now outside. We have to keep our bodies strong and fit all the time, and we can't let go of anything. So that means I have to do my exercise at home. I also have programs with some of the people at QB. I have a like more of a fitness program, and there's also Pilates, which we do a lot. And we also have classes for Pilates and a lot of other things. So yeah, it's really important to keep on working your body and maintaining your physique and your muscles, because you don't want to let that go. Next difference is the timetable and time throughout the day. With being in a company, it can change so drastically. So one minute you might be doing a full long day doing rehearsals non-stop, and then another week or another season you could be super chillaxed doing nothing, maybe a small little role. And that's also why it's really important to keep on working on your body to improve yourself. Lots of exercises, because you never know what the timetable will do. You have to be super on top of it. As for a student, they usually have a set timetable, maybe like one class. I mean, it kind of depends on what level you are in a student. If you're high up as the PPs, you do pretty much a full day of classes with lots of technique classes, pas de deux classes, and that's all set for you, ready to work. But in the company, it's super different. You do lots of rehearsals, or you don't. And that's actually another thing, you don't really do any technical work. When you're in a company, you should have all of that pretty figured out. So when you're in a company, you don't do any pas de deux classes or technique classes on point. You just have to have it and I guess improve in class. That's the main time for you to improve. If you're a student, you always get a set timetable. You get to do technique classes, pas de deux classes, it's all just there for you. And when you're in the company, yeah, it definitely changes a lot. My next difference is what you wear. So obviously, if you're a student, you wear usually uniform. If you're in a high-level ballet, obviously sometimes local places that you wear whatever you want. But in my case, I had to wear uniform, and also when I got to PP, you had to wear black. So now when you're in the company, it's so great. You get to wear whatever you want. It's about individuality and expressing yourself. It's also your work stuff. So, you want to have fun every now and then. And yeah, it's really fun to do. And that goes with hairstyles as well. Students aren't really, for me, I wasn't allowed to wear crazy hairdos. But now I can do French rolls, I can do anything. But it's funny because I don't really do anything crazy. I usually stick to a low bun, what I like to do, but yeah, you can do anything you want now. Another difference between the two, being a student, it's all about finding your foundations, learning technique, and getting the basics. Now in a company, you can hopefully get to a stage where you can now expand on that, find more artistry, and it's also a time when you get to perform more roles, so hopefully you can experiment with different types of roles and play around with dance movements and just the way you do a basic step. For example, like if you're doing some pliés, it's really fun because we get to now add on that and do beautiful port de bras and just really make it interesting and enjoyable to watch. And going back to a student, I find a student has to be more precise and has to learn the basics before you can add on. And a good example is watching principal dancers. They have just really become so beautiful to watch when they dance, and they're not a student. And I think that's the beauty of when you transition into a company, you get to explore that side. So going back to the timetable, I find another difference is with works and ballets. I think students usually have a set guideline for like a gala or like a showcase at the end. With company, with seasons, it changes a lot. Sometimes you can have a long time to rehearse something, but then the majority of the time it's quite quick, and you only have like a month or two to learn that thing, and then you've got to do it on stage and then do another whole ballet after that. It's quite learn everything quite fast. And with a student, I find most of the time, I'm not saying every time, but most of the time you get a long time to work on something and really perfect it. But in a company, you have to be quite on the spot and you have to learn it quite fast. So another pro to being in a company is that you get lots of privileges, such as massage, and you get we have these like session things you can talk to, like free ones. Also you get the gym, you get physiotherapy, mostly all for free, which is a bonus. But of course we are working, so hopefully we do get that, and I just find that's really cool about being in a company. Students don't get that usually they have to pay for all that. And of course point shoes as well, that's such a main one. I was always lucky enough to get free ones from Capezio, so I never really was in that side of having to pay for point shoes like every week. But yeah, being in a company, you definitely get free point shoes. I'm pretty sure that's with every company. It's kind of a standard thing. And also when you do get in a company, you get to make custom ones usually. I'm not in that stage because I'm only a apprentice type thing, a young artist. I don't get that luxury, but that is pretty cool as well. If you get into the company, you get to make custom point shoes if you're not happy with yours. Another difference is with the money situation. It's pretty obvious. I don't think I need to say it for too long, but of course you get paid in a company. You are working, that's your job. I guess that's, what you do. But with a student, obviously you have to pay for that. Sometimes you can get scholarships. That's obviously a bonus. But yeah, those are differences. Another little comparison I have for you guys is kind of not really a difference, but more of like a thing I was like, oh, okay, this happens. When you're in company, it's also really important with the bar placement and center work where you stand. That sounds so ridiculous, but it's true. You have to be very aware of where you stand. You don't want to step on any toes. You don't want to dance in the spot of a principal dancer because that's very disrespectful. Yeah, you want to keep in mind of the people around you and to let them obviously have priority over you. Yes, it's kind of natural in any type of situation in work. Like you always have the higher ranked people who get, to go first with everything. So yeah, that's something to think of if you are joining a company. Another amazing thing with being in a company too is that you get to do new works as well with the choreographers. It's really fun to explore. It kind of goes back to the experimenting with new roles that I was talking about. You definitely get to do lots of those amazing things being in a company. First, being a student, you just usually do the set things, or if you're in a local school, RED or whatever syllabus you're doing, it's very standard. But in a company, you get to just explore that other side of the world of ballet, and it's just really fun. So yeah, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing because yeah, I really love it. So yeah, thank you for listening, watching this video. If you're still here, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!